Hi, if you've clicked on this video, then you are looking to have a conversation about body paragraphs, and you are in the right place. Body paragraphs are the meat of your paper, and so let's make sure that you've provided enough clarity and power so that when your reader gets done, they're nodding their head and saying, wow, excellent points, awesome evidence, how could I not agree? And so if you have your reader nodding and saying, yep, I agree with you, then your body paragraphs have done their job. So how do I make sure that I have clarity and that I have power in my body paragraphs? Well, let's look at a few things. First, you want to go back to your thesis statement and remind yourself of what you told the reader you would prove in your body paragraphs. This will help with clarity. So let's take, for example, the thesis statement here that I'll highlight. It says, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, Araby by James Joyce, and Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson all have an incredible journey that involves theme and character development. So by looking at this, I've promised the reader that I'm going to make a stop at Book Thief, I'm going to make it stop at Araby, and I'm going to make a stop at Because I Could Not Stop for Death. And from those three works, I'm going to talk about a journey that helps a theme evolve and impacts a character's development. And so I got to remember that each paragraph, I'm going to talk about a journey, I'm going to identify a theme, and I'm going to be clear about how these things impact a specific character. Okay, once I have reminded myself of what I promised the reader, then I'm going to remember basic things about paragraph writing. And you know this, let's just review. You're going to have some kind of topic sentence that lets the reader know what the paragraph's going to be about. Now, you don't want it to sound exactly like your thesis, so you're going to need to think of a little bit of a different way to state this, and we'll see with the example below. You want to provide a little bit of background information to prepare your reader for the journey. Don't assume that your reader has read the text that you're going to talk about. So you need to provide enough details that they'll understand your points, having not read the text or be familiar with the text you're presenting. In addition, you need to provide evidence or the quote that you're going to borrow that clearly supports your points. And lastly, you need to explain how your quote works to help enhance your ideas. So with that in mind, let's take a look at an example paragraph. I'm only going to share one paragraph. I know that you've written 3 paragraphs, and the person that I'm using this paper from wrote 3 paragraphs, but here's the deal. If you can write 1 paragraph, you can repeat the process for 3 of the other paragraphs. So let's just take a look at one, and then you can be off to look at yours independently. You'll notice that I've included some blue things here right off the bat. To begin with, for instance, however, therefore, consequently, in fact. Oh, develop shouldn't be blue. That should not be blue. If you're saying in your head, yep, Misty, those are transition words, you're right. Don't forget to use transition words when you're writing because they will help your ideas flow more smoothly from one idea to the next. So keep that in mind when you're going back to revisit your work. So let's take a look, and as I told you, your topic sentence needs to sound a little bit different than your thesis. So let's see what this person did here. Here was their thesis, which is the last sentence in their intro, and it says, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, Araby by James Joyce, and Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson all have an incredible journey that involves themes and character development. To begin with, The Book Thief is a story about a young girl named Liesl Memminger and how she changes throughout her life. And so here, instead of just simply restating a lot of what's been said here, yes, The Book Thief is restated from the thesis, but then the writer here has decided to introduce the reader to Liesl, who is the main character, and already previewing that we're going to show a change here through her life, and we promised that we would. Okay, with that, I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to read this whole paragraph. And again, I want you to listen for, do I talk about journey? Do you see a theme? And do you understand how the character develops? You should be nodding when I'm done. Hopefully you will be. So let me read this paragraph to you. To begin with, The Book Thief is a story about a young girl named Liesl Memminger and how she changes throughout her life. Liesl encounters many obstacles throughout her journey, but that does not stop her. Liesl overcoming these obstacles and growing as a person is what creates one of the many themes in this novel, which is never underestimate the power of words. Words are the most powerful way for people to connect with one another. For instance, when Liesl first meets Max, she knows nothing about him, but after talking, they realize they actually have a lot in common. Since being a Jew during the Holocaust was very dangerous, Max was hiding in the Huberman's basement. When Max enters Liesl's life, it is a huge break for her. She has just lost her brother, mother, and now has a whole new family. Something like this is immensely distressing and is hard to deal with alone. Having someone to talk to about her emotions, feelings, and dreams and nightmares can really help. This encourages Liesl to think about something other than her past and is her first taste of success throughout her life. So the journey's beginning here. However, later in the novel, Max leaves the Hubermans because he is sorry for all the pain and stress he has caused them for being a Jew. Therefore, Liesl receives a sketchbook from Max that he wrote for her that she found later after he left. Quote, Mama made her go to bed, and she did so with Max's sketchbook against her chest. It was hours later when she woke up that the answer to her question came. Of course, she whispers. Of course I know where he is. And she went back to sleep, unquote. The story was called The Word Shaker and was about a tree that no one could cut down no matter how powerful or strong they were, and only one person could climb to the top. This one person was the Word Shaker, which is interpreted to be Liesl. The sketchbook is very special to her, and after reading it, she has a whole new perspective on life. The story proves how effective words can be and how powerless people are without them. This referring back to her theme. So here, you can, her first point has been made, and Liesl's on this journey, and the theme is about the words, the power of words. And so she talks about, in this first instance, gives the reader a little bit of background, talks about Max, and then provides a quote that ties into Max and explains how words are powerful. And then she'll transition, because in this essay you needed to have two specific proofs. She's going to transition when she says, let me find where, I'm sorry. She transitions here into her second point, because I need to really drive home the point for my reader that Liesl is on this journey and that she's learning about words. So starting here to the end is this reader, or the writer's second example and proof of Liesl having this journey of powerful words and how it transforms her. Let me read. In addition to, Liesl realizes that words can destroy if used by the wrong person. Quote, and at the center of it all, she saw the Fuhrer shouting his words and passing them around. Those images were the world, and it stewed in her as she sat with the lovely books and their manicured titles. It brewed in her as she eyed the pages full to the brims of their bellies with paragraphs and words, unquote. Liesl realizes something extremely vital throughout her journey. She realizes that the world does not deserve such good people like Max and Rudy or Hans. In fact, without words, Hitler was nothing. Consequently, Liesl changes from a lonely, sad, and helpless girl to a strong, determined, and generous young adult. This hard, long, and exciting journey is what develops the theme and how Liesl completely renovates as a character. And so these two examples, the one with Max and how words are a good thing, and the one where, the second example where the writer brings up about Liesl and understanding how Hitler is using words in a negative way, but they're also powerful, and connecting these to Liesl and showing that Liesl, from these two examples, she's in this journey, she's transforming, she's understanding how words are powerful, whether used positively or negatively. So in conclusion, initially, this writer promised that she would talk about a journey, bring up a theme, and show character development. And from this example paragraph, I think that you can see that this has been done. So I would like you to stop at this point. Please take a look at yours. Please go all the way back to your thesis. Make sure that whatever you stated here, you are going to clearly explain in your body paragraphs.